Oh, hello there. I'm Jeannie. Welcome to Mimicraft, your home for all things creative and DIY on a budget. I make all the mistakes so you don't have to. Today is part 2 of the Tier Tray Decor series DIY, featuring tumbling tower blocks and other Dollar Tree items. If you see anything you like today, please do the stuff above. DIY number 1 is teeny weeny risers. For each, you'll need two 1.5-inch wood discs. I cut these myself, but they're available at Hobby Lobby and they call them wood nickels. 17 8mm beads. Don't know why the package says 7.5. I don't know. I bought mine at Michael's. And wood glue. And hot glue. And Mod Podge. Glue 13 beads just inside the perimeter of one of the wood rounds. Glue the second wood round onto the first, making sure that they're even. Now the 4 more beads are supposed to be feet. I neglected to film that. For some reason I have a hankering. That's all there is to it. I'm going to make and paint 3 using Waverly chalk paint in the colors Plaster, which is off-white, and Mineral, which is a gray color. If you choose to paint yours, I recommend painting everything before you assemble it. I painted the original one I made for the tutorial with plaster, and then after the plaster, I'm going to do a dry brush technique with the mineral. To do this, dip your brush into some paint and then wipe the majority of it off. And then very, very lightly just go over the surface, as heavy or as light as you like. And this is how mine turned out. I do recommend sealing these with a sealant. I used Mod Podge in a matte finish. Project number 2 is 3 mini topiaries. You'll need 3 1.5-inch clay pots. I bought mine on clearance at Hobby Lobby, but they're also available on Amazon. 1 Dollar Tree hair roller. 3 1.4-inch styrofoam balls from Dollar Tree. Floral moss. Aleene's tacky glue. Decorative sand. 1 bamboo skewer. Hot glue. And masking tape, all available at Dollar Tree. If you're willing to spend just a little bit more, Hobby Lobby has black sand and that'll make the project much easier. Paint the upper 1/4 to 1/3 of the inside and all of the outside of each of your pots in the color of your choice. I was lazy and didn't paint the bottoms. I use the dry brush technique on that middle pot, just the same as that middle riser. When it's dry, podge it. Take the plastic cap off one end of your hair roller. Tightly wind some masking tape around that end, trying to make it into a point. Cover the rest of the roller with masking tape as well. Next, paint the hair roller green. I used a combination of apple barrel's holly branch and just a very little bit of burnt umber to get a color match to the moss. It's not super important because the moss is going to be covering everything up, but I got a decent match. If you try to paint this without taping it first, the paint will crack when you bend the roller. Remove any pieces of floral moss that you find offensive. I recommend tearing or cutting the moss into real tiny pieces. They will glue on much easier this way. It's going to take a minute. Use a paintbrush to apply glue to the roller. It's called a roller, so use your fingers to tap down, or I should say smash down, the floral moss as you go. So glue, roll, smash, glue, roll, smash, until you're done. I realized as I was editing, this looks like asparagus. When this is completely dry, you want to wrap it around a round pen, pencil, piece of dowel, whatever you have laying around, to turn it into a corkscrew. Working out of the shot again, the filming struggle is real. Pretend that bottom cap is on this little corkscrew. Using hot glue, glue that little cap to the bottom of your corkscrew. Fill that drain hole on the bottom with a little bit of hot glue because we're going to be putting sand inside. Place glue on that little white cap and glue your little corkscrew to the inside of your pot. I had to bend and adjust mine a whole lot after it was glued in. If you have all black sand, go ahead and put it in now. I just didn't want to mix up a whole ton of it, so I'm going to put regular play sand. This isn't Dollar Tree, this is just play sand that I had. And I'm going to fill it up to right about there. Next, I put some sand in a little container, and I actually squeezed some paint in there. I did burnt umber, apple barrel, and then I just put a little bit of black in there and mixed that together until it looked like the color of dirt. I have no idea how long this takes to dry because I just put it right in there. And I paid the price because some of the paint from the sand got on my project and I had to go back and clean it up a little. But go ahead and place a layer of the black over the other sand, and there you go. I cleaned up that little bit of paint with a toothpick and a little piece of cotton ball, wet it down, and boom. I also think that a Q-tip would work too. And this is how mine turned out. Measure 4¼ inches on the skewer. Paint the skewer dark brown. I use burnt umber so that it mimics a tree branch. It was much easier to paint this before I cut it. Cut the skewer at the 4¼ mark. Put a dab of hot glue on the bottom of your skewer and place the skewer in the center bottom of your little pot. Probably should have filled in this hole first, but if you did, fill it in now. And then flood the bottom of the skewer with much more hot glue after the original hot glue has set up. Paint 2 of the styrofoam balls green. I previously made holes in the center of each styrofoam ball, both to paint them and to thread them on the brown skewer later. Glue the moss onto these balls as you did with that foam roller earlier. The paint wasn't dry yet, so you're going to see my tacky glue turning green. Keep rolling and pressing the ball into the moss until it's completely covered. When done, roll the ball around in the palms of your hands as if it were clay to really compress all that moss onto the styrofoam ball. It will be a royal mess. With the part of the skewer that you cut off, go on a treasure hunt to find the hole that you made previously. Follow the sand procedure from the first topiary. Thread one of the moss balls over the brown skewer all the way down to the dirt. Place hot glue on about the top 1/2 inch of the skewer and place the other ball over it. Slide it down to where you want it to be and then fill in that hole with a little bit of hot glue and a little bit of moss. Give it a little haircut to make it pretty. There should be a gap between those two balls. How big of a gap depends on how tall you want your topiary to be. I needed mine to be this height to fit the tier tray that I have. I made the last topiary with the last styrofoam ball. All I did was put the moss on, put a little glue on the inside, and glue it on. Because it covers the whole opening, you don't have to put any dirt in this one. And here's the set. I don't know what to call project number 3. You'll need 7 or 15 tumbling tower blocks. You'll see what I mean in a minute. Wood glue, Dollar Tree wood people if you can find them, or 4 of these wood beads, wood filler, hot glue, and jute twine. Glue 6 tumbling tower blocks that are the same size together in the pattern you see on screen. Be sure to wipe off any excess glue with a damp cloth or towel. When the glue is dried enough that you can move the project, flip it over and remove any excess glue on the other side. This is actually the front side. Fill in all the crevices with wood filler and then sand when dry. If you can't find any wood people, I'll show you how to make wood people. Start with 8 blocks the same size. You'll be cutting 6 of these. The first set you're going to cut down 1/4 inch, second set you'll cut down 1/2 inch, and the third set you'll cut down 3/4 inch. You can use miter shears or that little mini saw, but I don't recommend a utility knife because it will take forever. Toss the pieces you cut off and glue all your doubles together, making sure that all sides meet up. Use wood filler to fill in one side of each bead, and when dry, sand smooth. Glue one bead, whole side down, onto each block set. I almost left these kids in a single parent home. There's the whole family. Paint everything the color of your choice. It's probably best if your background is a contrasting color to your little people. Don't forget to paint their butts. It's going to show. Starting to wonder if gray was a good color choice for my people. Don't forget the podge. Turn your background sideways to help you center the people. I used a piece of masking tape so I wouldn't have to mark it up. Glue them down with wood glue, but you could use hot glue as well. Lastly, take a nice long piece of twine and wrap it around the project and just tie it in a single bow. You could also use ribbon or a fancier bow, whatever you want to do, but I just wanted to keep it simple. And trim off the ends to the length you like them, or leave them hanging off the table. I really don't care. This is not balanced. It won't stand up on its own. So take that last block and wedge it behind. Find the angle that'll hold it up. And then you're going to use a little bit of hot glue to hold it in place temporarily. When that has dried, flip your project over and flood underneath with hot glue. This should keep it nice and firm. Flip it to the right side and walk away. Just leave it alone until the glue sets. It'll look something like this. Or this. Or this. Now the people that I made have a little bit of a flat head, but that's not my fault. It's genetic. Here are today's projects. And here's the tiered tray decor, part 1 and 2, all together. I'll leave a link up above to the tiered tray tutorial, say that 3 times fast, and in the description box below. Guys, thank you so much for watching. If you haven't yet given this video a like, please do it now. Let me know in the comments below which project's your favorite. Also, let me know if you have any requests for a future video. Until the next one, bye!